Hi, my name is Kim Mannion. I am the small business specialist here at the Center for Businesses in Transition, that's part of ANCA. I want to welcome you to our event today, North Country Businesses for Sale. As part of the event, we wanted to give buyers an overview of the buying process to kind of give you some context and hopefully share a little bit of insight. All right, we're going to talk about the overview of the buying process. So here is the whole process. It may not happen in exactly this order, but most of these steps will occur, and we'll walk through them. As you look at buying a business, you're going to want to build a team of people that can support you through that journey. That includes definitely an accountant, an attorney, and other individuals that can provide insight, such as the Center for Businesses in Transition. One of the things that you'll find is that when business owners want to take their business to market, some business owners will want to do that anonymously. So it may be difficult to find businesses for sale. And a way that you can find businesses where an owner maybe has chosen to go to market anonymously is through things like the Chamber of Commerce, your network of business professionals. There may be attorneys in the area that on a very confidential and kind of need to know basis can make you aware of businesses that are for sale. One of the top reasons why businesses don't sell is just that reason, where there's a disconnect between buyers that are interested knowing what businesses are for sale. And so without question, there are reasons why sellers don't want to go kind of full disclosure with marketing their business. It can be disruptive. So sometimes it takes a little bit of sleuth work to find those businesses for sale. So you definitely want to work your network. A seller will have come up with a valuation for their business. That valuation is made up of several components. There's the goodwill component, which is basically the value of the intangibles, the history of the business, profitability, customer base, reputation, all of that. And there's an assigned value for that. They'll assign a value for the furniture, fixtures, and equipment, for the inventory, and then anything else if there are other assets such as a website and that kind of thing. And what's good for the seller in terms of that, how that it's called an asset allocation, how that asset allocation is done. What's good for the seller is often not good for the buyer and vice versa. So understanding that and working with your accountant as you dig into businesses to find out what approach to the sale is best is super important. A seller will have put what's called a sell sheet together most often. And basically it's a resume for their business. And you can ask a seller for that. The seller uses that sell sheet to market their business, and there are a number of different avenues that they can use. A seller obviously is going to find somebody like you, an interested buyer. And while you are vetting the business to make sure that it's the right business for you, the seller will also be vetting you as a buyer to make sure that one, you are qualified from a skill perspective, but also that you're qualified and capable financially. So they may ask you questions and ask you, once you have both signed this non-disclosure, the NDA, and it's generally, we recommend that it be a mutual non-disclosure. The seller is going to open their books to you, but a savvy seller will also ask you to open your books to them. Are you capable financially to purchase this business? And it's a wide range, right? It could be a $30,000 business, or it could be a $1.3 million business or more. And matching the capability of the buyer with the right business obviously is important. You're going to do an initial evaluation of the business. You're going to ask for things like P&L, balance sheet, X number of years of taxes, and that kind of thing. So you can dig into the business and make a determination if this business is the right business for you to buy. If you've determined that it's the right business for you to buy, then you would generally put an offer in. And the offer at this stage is often called a letter of intent, where you indicate your intentions around buying the business. Your asking price, we'll talk about financing in a moment, whether or not you're asking the seller to offer seller financing, and all of that is negotiated. Let me just back up. It's often at this point that you would put a deposit down. When that deposit is accepted, you go into a period of exclusivity where the seller agrees to not engage with any other buyers during this period of exclusivity that is noted and time bound in that letter of intent. This then allows you as the buyer to take an even deeper dive into the business, this period called due diligence, where you understand soup to nuts about this business and whether or not it's a good fit for you to buy. And you may discover things during the due diligence period that necessitates additional negotiation. So this whole process from the letter of intent through due diligence, there may be pieces that you want to negotiate. And it's at this time, or it could be prior to, but in parallel, you'll look at financing. And financing could come from multiple sources. It could come from, obviously, hopefully there's savings that you have. You've been saving to buy this business over time. Hopefully bank financing, and each of the pieces get financed differently. It's important to note the goodwill of the business, that's that intangible piece, is difficult to finance because there's no collateral. And so that is often a piece that a seller will offer financing for. It's called holding paper or seller financing. And they will be in that mix of financing. So the financing, there will need to be a down payment. You have to have skin in the game as a buyer. Hopefully the seller offers financing, traditional bank financing if you qualify and if a bank is willing and there's sufficient collateral, and then an economic development organization such as the Adirondack AEDC, Economic Development Organization, a development corporation, AEDC, anyway, you guys know, or other local economic development organizations can help you with financing as well. Going the wrong way. You're going to want to have a contract. You'll have an attorney that will put the contract together. There may be contingencies, and those contingencies could be around financing and that kind of thing, but that is the contract that gets signed. And then you execute the purchase and sale agreement. There's a whole bunch of different documents that have to be signed. Additionally, if the seller is offered financing, there are personal guarantees and that kind of thing. But once you get all of that done, you've bought your business, and you celebrate and you start, and it's a really fun process. So we will likely put a buyer's working group together. We often have sellers working group, but something that we may launch is a buyer's working group to work with buyers to get you up to speed and dig into each of these topics a little more deeply. And if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, please let us know. I am Kim Mannion, K. Mannion at Adirondack.org. KMANION at Adirondack.org, and we can keep you apprised of when we're going to run that group. Thanks. Enjoy the rest of your session.